Good evening, the evening news. My name is David Ojo. President Muhammadu Buhari has humbled the Nigerian lawmakers when he rejected a bill that sought for power to summon the president and governors. The lawmakers in the 35 bills forwarded to Buhari for his assent rejected 19 bills in the Constitution Amendment on power to summon the president and governors. Senate President Hamid Lawan during plenary lamented the refusal of President to assent to 19 bills in the Constitution Alteration Bill. Buhari has assented to 16 out of 35 constitutional alteration bills transmitted to him for assent by the National Assembly. The most striking of the assented 16 bills, according to the Senate President, was the Fifth Alteration Bill number 6, which makes provisions for financial independence of state houses of assembly and judiciary. Others, he added, were those that dwell on power devolution in the areas of moving railway services, correctional centers, and power generation and distribution from the exclusive list to concurrent list. He, however, said that the 19 bills that were not assented to by the President will still be pursued vigorously by both chambers of the National Assembly, that for the pursuit. The President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has condemned what he described as ethnic, slow, physical, and verbal attacks during and after the just concluded election in some states. Tinubu, however, promised to give priority to expanding the civic space and safeguarding citizens' freedom to exercise their rights within the bounds of the law. In a statement he personally signed in Lagos, in Abuja, the former Lagos State Governor said elections should be a celebration of maturing democracy and freedom of choice and ought not to be a moment of grief. Following the violence in some parts of the country during the 2023 governorship election, the United States government has promised to impose a visa ban on election offenders. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria. The U.S. expressed worry by violence, voters' intimidation, and suppression that took place during those polls in Lagos, Kano, and other states witnessed by the U.S. diplomatic mission. First and it, however, commended all Nigerian political actors, religious and committee leaders, youth and citizens who have chosen to reject and speak out against such violent and inflammatory language, affirming Nigerians' commitment to and respect for democratic process. The Debt Management Office said the federal government has borrowed about 563. I'll take that story again. The Debt Management Office said the federal government has borrowed about 563.4 billion naira from the domestic capital market as its latest bond auction. The transaction report by the DMO indicated that the subscription of the 360 billion bond offer was 808.612 billion, 124.6% above initial offer size. Following the recent trend, the government took advantage of high investors' appetite for sovereign security to the increase in allotment of 563.35 billion naira. The federal government had raised about 2.13 trillion naira in new debt from the domestic capital market within the first 2 months of the year. It maintained the trend of rising more than an initial offer size as investors continue to show preference for sovereign security. A call for the benefit of cashless society in Nigeria has been made by some concerned citizens of Osun State. Speaking in different interviews with Osbc News, the financial expert Mr. Folabi Barola and a politician cum project manager Mr. Adebi Adelowo said that the cashless policy will take effect with time for the good of the nation. The deal said that the current situation of the country calls for a cashless policy which is globally accepted.
With this pronouncement from the CBN that the whole Naira notes should be spent concurrently or together with the new Naira note is a welcome development. So all I just want is that our people should trust it. They should collect it, because many people are still saying that, we don't want the old currency. The old currency is a currency of the federal government of Nigeria. It is our currency. Let us trust it and let us continue to spend it along with the new denominations.
So I believe if you are going to have a cashless policy, there must be a good network everywhere. When the urban centers, in rural areas, the network must be available 24/7. Anything you want to. Also, the payment system, POS, must be available everywhere. All business centers must have POS. And the banks must have the ATM to everybody. Once you have your money in the bank, you must have your ATM. It's not for people to start struggling to get ATM again. Another problem. Then opening of account should be easy. Now, should be decided everybody should open an account within short period and get your ATM. And that's good. So Nigerian people are suffering because they are spending for cash. And they are not going to eat cash. They want to use cash to buy something for their life. So if there's a way of doing those things without using cash, fine.
Justice Peter Luful of the Federal High Court in Lagos has struck out the federal government suit seeking to recover and fulfill the sum of 70 trillion naira it alleged was stashed in 29 banks' accounts by looters. The judge stated that the federal government's lawyer and the private lawyers, which it subsequently gave a fiat, did not diligently prosecute the case. The federal government of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice are the witnesses, the plaintiffs and applicants in the suit marked. The 17 commercial banks and Nigerian Ajib Oil Company Limited and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation were listed as respondents in the suit. The federal government had in August 2021 obtained an interim order from the Justice Tijani Rigim for the forfeiture of the 17 trillion naira. The case was later transferred to Justice Lufo, who in 2022 vacated the interim order following FG's failure to meet the terms of the order. Delivering judgment on the substantive suit, Justice Lufo held that since the vacation of the interim order, it has been back and forth with vigorous and excuses application for the adjournment at the instance of the plaintiff counsel, Muhammad Indirani. The Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed an application by suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari seeking to strike out charges against him. Justice Emeka Nwete dismissed the application on the grounds that the court has the exclusive right and jurisdiction to hear drug-related cases. Abba Kyari, who was a former head of the intelligence response team of the Nigerian Police Force, is facing prosecution by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Kyari, alongside 4 members of the IRT facing charges, are Inspector John Nuhu, ASP Bawa James, ACP Sunday J. Mbua, and Inspector Simon Ingriba. Also, they were charged with dealing in cocaine without lawful authority, conspiracy to tamper with cocaine, and unlawful tampering with the 21.35 kg of cocaine size from 2 convicted drug dealers. And now to sport. The Nigerian Football Federation has announced the gate fee for the Group A 2023 CAF African Nations Cup qualifier between Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau. Tickets for Friday's 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifying match between Nigerian Super Eagles and the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau has been calibrated and price ranging of 2,000 and 10,000 naira for the ordinary and VIP seats respectively. The tickets are available at the Secretariat of the NFF at the Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, and other designated places, which details will be announced on broadcast station nationwide. Nigeria, on 6 maximum points from their previous 2 matches, take on Guinea-Bissau in a top-of-the-table fixture that will largely determine the swings of the pool, with the Super Eagles favored to pick all 6 points and guarantee their passage to Côte d'Ivoire next year. And our Tucson foreign story. Ethiopia's parliament has removed the dominant party in the Tigray region from the list of terrorist organizations. The parliament said that the move is supported by most of the country's politicians to strengthen the November 2022 peace deal between Tigray People Liberation Front the federal government. It added that it is a significant step towards establishing an interim regional government following the end of the 2-year civil war. The deal ended the conflict in which tens and thousands of people were killed and millions were forced from their homes. It will be recalled that the Tigray People's Liberation Front, which led the northern region into war with the federal government in the late 2020, was designated a terrorist group last May. And with that story concludes the evening news. Join us at 7 for major reports. My name is David Ojo. Thanks for watching and bye for now.